plant back online. We will be the military members' top priority. A power outage last month led to severe water damage at many homes in the community. More than 4,400 people were forced out. About a quarter of those people may be on the move again when their hotel bookings in Thompson run out. Aside from the military, plumbers and other workers are coming from other provinces to help out with this. Meanwhile, the leaders of the Sheshawan First Nation are frustrated over what they call a lack of government response to their community state of emergency. It's been more than a week since the Northern Ontario community declared a state of emergency after its water treatment system failed, sewage backed up into homes and contaminated.
ራሴን ላዳምጥ ወይ ዜና ላዳምጥ?
No political leaders from Ontario have reached out.
ራሴን ደግሞ አሞኛል። እንደዚህ አይነት ጫጫታ ደግሞ አልፈልግም።
The urgency of the situation.
እየጸጥ እየመቀመጥ ደግሞ አልፈልግም።
Canada's water and wastewater management operations and
በዚህ
consulting
ሰዓት ማንም
personnel
አይገባም።
have been deployed. Repairs are underway.
ምክንያቱም ስራ ላይ እየተራራጠ ነው ህዝቡ ያለው።
Hundreds of people already moved out. NASA's Artemis 2 mission could launch in less than a month. Possible launch dates start February 6th, running until the end of April. Each date has a launch window that lasts for a couple of hours. This is the first crewed mission of the Artemis program. NASA's first trip back to the moon. This crew is set to venture around the moon. They're not going to land on the moon.
እናንተ ችግር ማንሰማበት የት እንሂድ? ማናውጣችሁ ዜና ላይ ችግር ነው። ስልካችን ክፍት ስናደርገው ችግር ነው። ዩቱብ ስንከፍት ችግር ነው። ፌስቡክ ችግር ነው። ችግር የሌለበት የት ነው? አሁን የምታወራው ጦርነት ነው። Lowry's been back in town since leaving the Raptors, but this visit it hit a bit different because this may have been his last game at Scotiabank Arena. He's 39 years old. Welcome, chat. Remember to guard your privacy, prepare your community.
Maxim has a jersey that is too small for him, but he will not allow me to get rid of the Lowry jersey.
When you got me, no message.
I bet he like shoved himself into it. No. You should frame that one. That would be nice. Okay. Or not. We don't like that idea.
Scan me.
Why not? Okay, you actually like that. We do stuff like Mount's whole wall is like different. There's like pictures from.
Yeah, well, that's the Adam Soch in the one. I don't know.
Famous. My friend who is on his wall. Yeah.
Can I some steak?
Anyway, what we will do is go to weather. We've got your weather forecast coming up in about 15 minutes time here on the show. There is rain and snow today in parts of Ontario. It's tracking in across the Great Lakes, and it is going to precipitate through today. And they phrase it that way because we don't have any warnings in effect. It is just going to be your story through Tuesday. Now, what we see in behind that is a temperature drop, and that is the story. That will be the more notable one through Wednesday and into Thursday across Ontario and eventually Quebec. Record-breaking highs in parts of the prairies. We'll talk about that warmth persisting again for today. And then Atlantic Canada, after that winter storm yesterday, return to sunny conditions. It's windy. We'll talk about when you see your next round of active weather coming up. For now, here's a close look at it today.
Any Laura is a sort of. How come I'm speaking? She's speaking too. I have heard it. That's the thing. Ooh. Okay.
Syrians have been able to make phone calls abroad. Now, this comes as U.S. President Donald Trump will reportedly receive a briefing today on just how the U.S. could respond to escalating protests in Iran.
I think one thing President Trump is very good at is always keeping all of his options on the table, and airstrikes would be one of the many options that are on the table for the commander-in-chief. Diplomacy is always...
White House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt's comments on Monday come as Iranian Canadians are speaking out in solidarity with the demonstrators. Serena Nouri, an Iranian supporting the protesters, is joining us this morning
ችግር ነው
with his
የሚያወሩ
experience. Welcome to your morning.
Good morning, Mary. Thank you very much for having me.
You fled Iran in 2011, and since Thursday, they've been under this internet and phone service blackout. Now that part of that has been lifted, have you been able to reach anyone?
No, not yet, because this is not a widespread situation that everyone could connect with their families. So it's still like we've been trying since morning to connect with our parents, but unfortunately we haven't been able yet.
Tell me about the concern and frustration that you live with in these days of not being able to reach them, but being able to see pictures coming out of that country.
This is devastating. I can say that this morning when I woke up to this news that since January 8th, there is
ምን አይነት መልክ ነው የሚታያችሁ? የደከመው የደበረው እንቅልፍ የመጣው ጫጫታ የበዛበት ምናምን ራሴን በጣም አሞኛል።
ready to hear the news when I contact with my parents and my family.
I have headache.
I really don't know who is alive.
Surena, those numbers are vastly different than the numbers that we're getting. Where did you get those numbers from?
I got from Iran International. It's a Farsi news outlet that is covering this situation inside Iran. So
አላስወራኝ ነው።
I was surprised because
አረ ጎበዝ አመነው፣ አረ ጀግና አመነው። አላስወራኝ አደገና
so now there was an official statement released by Iran
እኔ
International.
ደግሞ ሰዓት እስኪደርስ ደከመኝ።
Human rights activists news agency much
ኦ
lower
ማይ
than that.
ጋድ
It doesn't matter.
ራሴን በጣም አሞኛል። ኧረ እናንተ
Under 1,000, but 10,000 at least have been arrested. We're also told that the death toll is probably much higher.
አላርጂክ ምን
It's
እንደሚያደርገኝ
difficult to get
ታውቃላችሁ?
verified numbers out. But how is it, I know for yourself, but also others,
እስከዛ ድረስ
stand in
ማለት
solidarity
ነው።
with the people in Iran to watch what's happening from afar?
This is, like I said, I mean, this is emotional and emotionally heavy on everyone else.
ምክንያቱም
We really ask each other, what more can we do? And we are cut off from
ዋይ ወይ
people.
ማርያምን ራሴን በጣም አሞኛል። ኧረ
This is what we do. We gather on the streets, and on Sunday we had a gathering in front of the parliament in
ግን
Oslo.
ሰዓት እስኪደርስ ድረስ ስንት ደቂቃ ቀረ መሰላችሁ? 15 ደቂቃ ወደ ቤቴ ሀገር አቋርጬ ተጉዤ ሀገር ታፕታፕ አይደረግም እንደዚህ ይኖር
At the beginning of our conversation, you heard Karen
ታፕታፕ አድርጉ ልል ነበረ። ለካ ታፕታፕ አይደረግም።
has not ruled out military strikes. She mentioned airstrikes.
ከኔ ጋር ዜና አዳምጡ።
Protesters. How comfortable are you with the U.S. directly intervening in Iran?
Well, this is a help from outside. Imagine a situation that you are witnessing a house in which a father is killing the children. So what would you do? You ask other neighbors. You talk to police. You reach out to outside resources to help those people. So this is exactly what we are expecting from the U.S. to intervene and provide support to people to talk their position and choose their own government.
You mentioned a rally in Ottawa over the weekend, and their protesters voiced their support for the exiled crown prince of Reza Pahlavi, that's the son of Iran's last Shah. If this current regime falls, what role do you see Pahlavi playing in Iran's future?
Well, he's at the moment he's the centerpiece, and he's the core around which all patriots and people who are fighting for their country have gathered, regardless their political affiliation, be constitutional monarchist or Republican. They have gathered and they want this decision to go. And then after that, there will be the balance and there's a referendum. People will choose the form of the government that they want.
As you and I are speaking, protests continue, arrests continue, detainment continues, and deaths are likely to continue. How are you planning to support in the coming days? And what are your concerns as this week carries on?
We are trying to gather facts and evidence to provide to our politicians here in Canada. taking all the necessary actions and any action at their disposal to support these people and to provide maximum pressure on this region. This region it has
I'm
lost
okay,
its legitimacy. This region is a this is a moral duty of all countries, all democratic countries, to
እንደዚህ ትደበቃለህ ማለት ነው። መብላት አለብኝ አፕል
democratic government.
An Iranian Canadian supporting the protesters with loved ones back in Iran. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming. ለምን አልበላ? ስንት ደቂቃ አለኝ? 13 ደቂቃ። You have your hour, that's why I don't have it. I remember.
Traction and stability that won't miss a beat. Take the strongest Ram 1500 ever into the cold and drive confidently with Canada's best full-size truck powertrain limited warranty. Get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2025 Ram 1500 and the 2026
እስቲ ላይክ አድርጉ፣ ሰብስክራይብም አድርጉ።
Hi, my name is Mario Rigby, and I came to Canada when I was 16 from Turks and Caicos. When I arrived, I started exploring this beautiful land by walking, cycling, and kayaking all over this great country. Some of my favorite places are Newfoundland, where I have experienced incredible hospitality. I love the beaches of Vancouver Island
Hi.
and the peace I found camping in national parks all over Northern Ontario. I love this country, and I hope you do.
I get crazy. I have headache.
Customers often tell us how proud they are when everything comes together. And the Kellers, they love seeing their style reflected in their home. And they love when friends and family notice too. The Kellers, beautiful furniture, expert guidance, a home you love.
I have accident.
We find the people here demanding, they're too chatty.
Like it here?
That's not what I said.
It's okay, I can eat, right?
Prime Minister Mark Carney is headed to China today.
This way is good, right? Which one?
And a strained relationship with the world's second largest economy as a trade war with the United States drags on. Well, that comes as the Liberals are looking ahead to a by-election that will fill former MP Christy Freeland's now empty seat, or soon to be empty seat, or no, now empty seat. Joining
No,
us
it's not
to
voted.
look at those stories and more is the Globe and Mail's Laura Stone. Listen, it is still happening so fast, Laura.
Thank you so much.
There who's left, but we do know that she is gone as of last Friday.
It's not hotel. This one? No.
Thursday stop in Prince Rupert, BC. He's going to meet with
That is,
coastal First Nations. This was a promise meeting.
How can I show you?
That's going to happen now. I presume
Do you
this is
see
about
the
times,
menu?
But we know the First Nations groups from the West Coast have already said they don't want one there.
Thank
So
you.
What's the likely outcome of this meeting?
This is a restaurant, not
Well, good
hotel.
morning, Anne-Marie. Yes, a very busy agenda for Prime Minister Mark Carney, who starts his morning in British
Doner
Columbia
shop.
and then leaves for China later in the week and then on to Qatar and Davos. So this meeting with the coastal First Nations,
Thank you,
a group of
Jordan.
First Nations along the BC coast who have adamantly, as you mentioned, Anne-Marie, come out against a pipeline when the federal government announced that MOU.
It is good, it's good, it's good for mine. It's good for stomach.
Possible lifting of the tanker ban off the BC North Coast, and this group of First Nations has essentially said that will never happen. The federal government, I think, understands the importance now of bringing in Indigenous voices, and they're going to be speaking, as you mentioned, about major projects.
What is
not
it?
Specifically just a pipeline, but there's some LNG projects.
No.
Some energy projects that First Nations groups
I don't have.
do support. They'll also be talking, obviously, about oceans and the environment writ large. I'm not sure anyone's expecting any breakthrough from this specific meeting, but I think
I'm
the
single
government
lady.
understands it's important to meet with First Nations, and they had a bit of a slip
ኧረ እንዳለኝ ሰዓት እንዳለው
minister having to apologize for saying that these groups could have met with
Wow.
the prime minister himself over Zoom instead of in person, and that did not go over well, as you can imagine. So I would call this a first step in probably what is going to be many steps.
How can I marry you? My stomach is so big. You cannot afford me. I'm eat morning, I'm eat afternoon, I'm lunch, and then after that you're gonna kick out me. No. Single is good.
Yeah, a precarious meeting here in this country before he heads
I ate
over
too
to
much.
China. During the last federal election, Carney called China our biggest geopolitical risk. How do trade talks look with that kind of elephant in the room? And again,
Where I am from?
understanding that this is a first-time meeting in 9 years.
Guess.
A lot at stake here.
Yes, and Canada is surrounded by
Guess where I'm
many
from?
political risks right now, right? You look south of the border, you're dealing
Guess
with
where I'm
President
from?
Trump, now you're dealing with China, and it wasn't too long ago that 2 Canadian citizens were
Who do you
imprisoned in
like,
that
guys?
country, wrongly, and
I'm eating.
the 2 Michaels
I'm enjoying.
for several years.
Like us,
so
you don't
it is going
pay
to be
for
a
it.
very tricky situation for the Prime Minister to navigate. Federal officials, government officials had talked about these
Guess
trade
where I am
barriers
from?
between the 2 countries and trying to resolve
Look at my
those.
face, look at
Of
my...
course, there's a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs.
Ma'am,
coming
I
into
don't
Canada
know
at
where
the
I am
moment,
from.
and that is-
Ma'am,
that
oh
was to
my
match
God,
what
where
the
I am from?
US
You
had
don't... You
put
have
in
to guess,
place,
man.
in 2024. That has caused China to put its own tariffs on Canadian products quite punishingly for agriculture sector, more specifically canola. And so I think there's
No,
really
no,
gonna be
no,
some discussion about
I'm not.
how to lift those, but then that causes some other problems for
Yes, I am live, but I'm not.
Premier Doug Ford,
Like
for
what?
instance, coming out and saying you can't lift those EVs, it's going to hurt our auto
I love
sector.
Canada.
So many kind of tightropes to walk here for the Prime Minister.
I love
And,
Canada.
of
It's
course,
beautiful
the
country,
trust factor,
but
too, of,
I'm from
also
Africa.
trying to, rile up investment
I'm
for
Ethiopia.
the Canadian economy, potentially from China, and what that means from a security standpoint, and whether there's an appetite among the public for billions of dollars being
Yes, I'm from
poured into our
Africa,
economy
Ethiopia.
and having to diversify trade at this very precarious time with the United
Thank you.
States.
Yeah, and
But I like Canada. Canada's peace country, good country, good people. So respect each other. I love it.
We'll have to wait and see what comes out.
But I'm originality from Ethiopia.
The departure of former MP Christian Freeland leaves the
You
Liberals
got it?
now 2 seats shy of a majority. They were at 1, now they're at 2. The party has up to 6 months to call a by-election in the Toronto riding.
What kind of pant are you
I
wearing?
found it really funny. Robert Benzini, he
Black?
said he could run his dog with the red tie.
Why? Pants?
How is the situation, Chad?
I'm wearing black. I like.
Well, I think first of all, it'll be interesting to see what kind of
This is my workplace, so.
chosen in that riding. And Christian
Why? Why you asking me?
was very tight with the Trudeau government. until
Oh, you are
he
from
wasn't, right?
India?
He was kind of given credit
I am from
in some
Africa,
circles
East Africa.
criticism and others for taking down Trudeau a year ago, right, in her very kind of public resignation from the finance ministerial post.
You know
But
East
what
Africa?
kind of person goes in? What signal does that send? Is it a break from kind of the
Sorry
Trudeau
guys,
era? Is it a
so
party person?
they
And
speaking
I think
so
the factors being weighed
for
too are
loudly.
does the Prime Minister
I
wait
cannot
and see
turn
anyone
off
else
that
leaves? And there's
TV.
been talk of,
That's not my
some
TV.
other former cabinet
This
ministers
is
who are no
workplace.
longer in Mr. Carney's cabinet.
This
Bill
one is
Blair,
my
there have been
workplace,
books
so.
and names that have been floated around as potentially leaving, maybe getting some diplomatic posts. And we've also seen conservative MP Matt Jenner, who was one of the names being tossed about as potentially crossing the floor to the Liberals. He came out and said he wasn't doing that, but he was going to resign his seat in Edmonton. So that's a conservative seat, but maybe one that the Liberals would hope to
What?
pick up in that city. And so that's
What
what the
is
Prime Minister,
what?
I think, is weighing out. Does he call a by-election in one riding, or does he wait and see how things shape up and call them all, kind of call a slew of them all together? But certainly the Liberals
I
don't
can-
want
I
to
can-
be
I don't
losing any
understand.
seats right now. They want to pick up a seat, and that would be in that conservative
What you
riding.
say? Can you?
Obviously, there's still talk as before the winter break about whether any other conservative or other party members will
I
be
don't know
crossing
what you're saying,
to
I'm
the
sorry.
Liberals. That hasn't happened yet, but certainly the Carney government wants to have a majority, whether it's through picking up seats in an election memory or getting one other person to cross the
Wow,
floor.
wow, wow. Let's go.
And all of that will have to hold.
Can you turn around and check your voice?
Thank you.
I can't. Which one?
Including a look at the incoming weather system in parts of Ontario. Still lively and timid for you this morning. It almost looks like fresh snow has fallen. No cracks in it yet.
Bye, guys. Good night. I gotta go. Next time I have to take you. Bye. I have to go. I swear to God, I have to go. Thank you so much for the message. Thank you for like. Thank you for join. So I appreciated that. For now, I have to go. Okay.
Sure, it's simple. It's what we were raised to do. But somewhere along